everyone, and welcome to Vitality's Happy Half Term. So today we've got our friends from the GB hockey team who are having a little bit of fun and talking to us about how we can stay positive with our kids. And we've got a chance for you to win our prize as well. So just make sure you tag us in on all your activities that you're doing this week on Instagram using the hashtag Vitality Half Term, and hopefully you can win a prize there. And I will see you tomorrow.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our first event of the Vitality Healthy Half Term series. My name is Jamie and I'm one of the Vitality coaches and also the question master for today's session. So over the next 2 weeks, we'll be joined by so many special guests who'll be taking part in all kinds of crazy activities, all aimed at improving our physical and mental well-being as well as our nutrition. So we're starting, as we mean to go on, with a really interesting, fun and engaging conversation with 3 stars from England, Wales and Great Britain hockey. So before we introduce our guests, please do get involved in the conversation. Let us know your thoughts and please do post your questions in the comments section and we'll make sure that we answer these as well. So like Jess said, 3 superstars today, and first up we have Hollie Pearne-Webb, who is a defender for England and Great Britain. Hollie famously scored the decisive shootout penalty in the Rio Olympics. She's England and Great Britain captain. Hollie, am I right in saying you've got 98 caps for England and 84 for GB? Is that right?
If you researched that and said that, then yeah.
No, I just knew it. I'm such a big fan. Obviously, I remember these things.
I know roughly what it is combined, but yeah, I kind of don't know the exact figure, so I trust you there.
Okay, I suppose when it gets above that level, they all just merge into one, don't they?
Definitely not.
Good, perfect. Well, Hollie, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to having a bit of a chat later on. As if one wasn't enough, we've got 2. So we've also got Leah Wilkinson today, who is a player for both Wales and GB. Also, I believe a history teacher outside of when she's competing for Wales and GB, captain of the Welsh hockey team. And Leah, this is a stat that I have lined up for you. I believe that you are the most capped Welsh person in sport. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Good stat. That is a really cool stat. How are you doing today?
I'm just pretty old. So what happens is you just play for a long time, you get loads of caps.
Well,
so
you're doing
Hollie would be
something
there
right.
soon. She's getting on a bit now as well. So
okay,
yeah.
So well, maybe that's a good point then. Maybe we need to add just a little more youth into the situation today. But we've got a third special guest as well. So we've got Amy Tennant, who's goalkeeper for England and Great Britain, as well as a Commonwealth bronze medalist. Amy, I'm also informed that you might be responsible for a lot of the humour in the England and GB squad. So are you okay to bring some of that today?
No pressure. I'll try.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if you've got to focus on anything today, just make this really fun and as many jokes as possible, okay?
All right.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the aim of the conversation today is to learn a little bit more about the life of a Great Britain hockey player. We want to understand how you look after both your physical and mental well-being and help any aspiring young athletes watching today to continue to pursue their goals. So we'll have some time for some audience Q&A, so please do get involved. But that's far too much from me already. So Hollie, if it's okay, I'm going to start with you. Are you able to tell us just a little bit more about your journey to becoming a hockey superstar? So how did it start? Have you enjoyed the game always? Were you, the high performing kid as a youngster? What's your story?
So my story is I kind of just always loved any kind of sport. So played sport from a really young age. I was really lucky that both my parents sort of pushed me into everything. So I played sort of football, cricket, netball, hockey, athletics, everything. And it was when I was about 8 years old at primary school, there was the poster on the wall about the local hockey club. And it was every Sunday morning, you'd throw a pound in the pot, go and borrow a stick and give it a go. And it was from there that I sort of fell in love with hockey. As I said, all sports I enjoyed, but hockey, as soon as I picked up a stick, loved it. It was boys and girls together. It was aggressive. It was competitive. It was fun. So from there, it really started, local hockey club. I was never the most talented kid. I haven't got the most fancy skills. But any of you have seen hockey, you'll know that. But I was just someone that watched the Olympics in Sydney 2000. Remember doing a project at primary school, and was just fascinated by it all and got goosebumps watching all the incredible athletes. And that's when I was like, I want to go to Olympic Games. Never in a million years did I ever think it would come true. But that was always the goal then. And hockey was always the sport that I wanted to do that in and really enjoyed. So from then on, I just was determined to do everything I possibly could and take up every opportunity I possibly could to try and get where I luckily am today. But yeah, it was never a guarantee for me. It was just something I really enjoyed.
So it was a mixture of kind of determination, a lot of hard work, but it sounds like you've had talent in a lot of different sports, and maybe there's some crossover there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I would encourage any youngster to just play as much as they possibly can. It was only about when I was 14 that I sort of had to choose, because hockey was just taking up so much time. But I definitely think there was a benefit to me of playing all these different sports, and I just enjoyed it as well.
I think you made the right choice on it. I'm pretty sure about that. Leah, and just hearing a little bit more from you right now. Obviously, we've mentioned that I understand your journey was slightly different. You have a role as a teacher as well. So I'm sure you can sympathise a lot with the tough time that young people are going through at the moment and the journeys that they're on. So obviously, a lot of us aren't allowed to play team sports at the moment. So have you got any advice for those who want to make sure they're ready to perform as soon as we are allowed to go back to the field?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very difficult time at the moment for everyone. That idea of being quite isolated, I think, is very difficult. But I think though not everyone's able to get out on a field together, you can still stay connected, and I think that's really important. So things like, what we're doing today, and having Zoom chats, and go and do a quiz and fun things online and things like that. You could even pick up the phone and speak to people, which is this incredible thing which I think people forget that you can do, and I think that's really important. And also, you can still keep in touch with sports that you love. So, there's hockey on the TV, or there has been at the moment. You can go on YouTube and watch things. You can go and work on some of the things that you wanted to do. So imagine you want to go and get that beach body ready, go and get that six pack, go and work on your core. There's lots of things you can work on just because you can't be on a pitch together. And your parents are going to kill me for saying this, but obviously you can get a tennis ball and have a little bit of a knock around. That my skirting boards are horrific, so don't use a hockey ball, because that is actually a disaster. But I think we just need to think a little bit outside the box and use our imagination about how we can stay connected and still make gains during this time. And it will get better. It really will. And before we know it, we'll be back playing the sports we love, and things will be back to normal, hopefully.
Yeah, I do hope so. I want to pick up on something you said there, though, because I like the idea of getting in trouble with parents. So how do we play hockey indoors? Like, what can we do? Have you got any skill drills or anything that, so that when we get back to playing, it's not going to be a case of forgetting how to play completely. So maybe without smashing up too many of the home, like TVs and things like that. Is there any little drills that you recommend people try?
Well, I mean, I would start with a tennis ball. That's definitely a good
Rule
way
number
to start. Rule number one, a tennis ball. Yeah, that's a good one. But I think it's all about getting your hands moving and getting used to the stick still in your hands. So, little dribbling skills and things like that. Obviously, I am far more skillful than Hollie. I don't like to talk about it because it's a bit awkward. But, so, but I think just getting your hands moving, getting the ball going, feeling the stick, you only need like a meter area to get the ball moving side to side and things like that. I'm not saying for a second go away and practice your drag flicks or your hitting ability through the house. Probably not the most idea. I think we should probably put something at the bottom of the screen here that says warning. Do not just
idea.
Absolutely. But again, there's loads of stuff on YouTube and things like that about skills you can practice in the house. And again, just use your imagination. I think as long as it's safe and your parents aren't going to hunt you down once you've broken something, I think we're okay. Move vases and stuff out of the way. Okay,
so we maybe just say, if your parents do want to shout at you, Amy said that's what we should be doing. So we can just blame her, kind of thing. And just to be clear, you're talking we focus on the finer skills maybe rather than your power hitting and things like that.
I totally agree. I think getting used to just the stick back in your hands, and you might be able to get outside as well. If you've got fortunate to have a garden or some outdoor space, you can go a bit more wild outside. unless your parents are obviously keen gardeners, and then there's an issue with that as well. But again, like I say, just use your imagination and a tennis ball, and I think you can get a lot of skills in then, and you can even hook up with your friends on Zoom or Teams or whatever, and you can do some skills together. There's loads of things online at the moment, so I think that's really good to get involved in.
Perfect. So get online, stay connected, and practice your finer skills without getting in too much trouble.
Absolutely.
Amy, I think my question to you is kind of personal, but hopefully other people will be thinking the same. Because from my perspective, the life of a professional athlete is the best thing in the world. Like, it's everything that I've probably ever wanted to do. So would you mind explaining to us what a typical day might look like for you? So is there a typical day firstly? And if so, what's the kind of routine that you follow?
Yeah, would you like a typical day in these current climates, or would you like a typical day pre?
If we could do now, and then if you could just explain where the differences are. But yeah, I think life now is good.
All right, yeah, so we are pretty consistent at the moment with our training. We tend to train 4 days a week at Bisham Abbey. And that is a mix of, at the moment, hockey and gym work. So we tend to have a hockey and a gym session, or we might do 2 hockey sessions in a day. So that's pretty much it at the moment, just because of what we're allowed to do, in terms of, like, we definitely can't have any meetings, that kind of thing. We've in the last couple of weeks just been doing some inter-squad matches to kind of replicate what the Olympics will be like. So that's been slightly different than normal, but it's been really good, pretty good practice, right, girls?
Yeah, definitely.
Remembering how to play 11v11 hockey.
The pitch is so big. It's so big.
Yeah.
Bigger than your skirting board in the living room, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just a mix at the moment of hockey and gym. We kind of, we all socially distance. We train in smaller groups in the gym, that kind of thing. So it's similar, but there's little differences to it.
Okay, cool. And how are you guys feeling? Do you feel like, I think for a lot of us, we might be, like you said, focusing on certain areas that we might have neglected in the past. Do you feel like your game has been affected by not being able to train in the normal way, or actually has it been a positive? Maybe I'll direct this question to you, Hollie. I know you got some grief about your skills, so I want to help you out right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm backing you right now. So yeah, do you think that actually it's given you an opportunity to work on some of the things that you haven't already, or has it actually just, let's be honest, it's been a bit detrimental in terms of your match play?
Well, I think the postponement at the Olympics because of the virus is actually going to benefit us as a squad. We're quite a young squad, and we had a new head coach come in not that long ago. So actually an extra year for us, I think, will be a huge benefit. I think also, as Leah said, it's given us an opportunity to focus on some individual areas we have to work on. Before COVID, our training days, we were pretty much in for the whole day and would have, as Amy said, sort of training, would have psychology meetings, team meetings, physio, nutrition meetings, gym. So you would be very busy days. But because now we're not allowed to be in there all the time, we literally go in to train and then go home. All our external meetings, team meetings, are done at home. So it has given us a bit more time that we probably didn't have before. So I know personally, and some of the girls have been doing things like Pilates and things like that are then fine-tuning little areas that we didn't have time to do before. So in some ways it has been a benefit, and obviously in other ways we miss out on that, like everybody else, that social interaction with people face to face, which is really important for a team sport and something that we've missed. But I think we're all looking forward to that once we can get back to that. So there's been pros and cons, but we're trying to make the most of it, and there's definitely been opportunities where we can make some gains, which I think will be a huge benefit to us.
Yeah, I like the idea that we accept that there's things that we won't be able to do, but you can do everything else to get yourself ready to go out and perform whenever the time comes. And actually we've spoken a little bit about the physical side of the sport, but maybe focusing on the psychological side now. Leah, if I come to you with this one, I think it's inevitable that at the moment there's going to be days when we don't feel so great. We might feel a little low or even kind of sad. But we do also know that there'll be more enjoyable days to come, and that's what we've said a lot today already. So outside looking after your physical well-being and focusing on your training, do you take time day to day to focus on your mental well-being? Are there things that you've experienced which help you day to day, or how do you manage that element of your performance?
I think that's the really key thing at the moment, that there's no doubt that it is a really difficult time with mental health at the moment for lots of people, because the world at the moment is so different. I think over time we've learned, a lot of us have learned how to deal with that kind of side of things. So for me, it's really important to, for example, have a routine. So yeah, we're really lucky that we have hockey, but for example, this is our rest week. So it's about having a good routine so that the days just don't pass you by. And linked to that, I think it's important to kind of get into a good sleep routine as well, because I think when it was the first lockdown back at the start of last year now, I think I was like a student again. I used to go to bed about 2 a.m. and get up, I don't even know what time. And I think it's, that's not actually a healthy way to live long term. And I think it's having a routine. I try to plan my day each day, what I'm going to do and things like that. And also another thing for me has really been to try to limit screen time. So obviously I've spoken today about, having Zoom calls and things like that. But, in other times of the day, it's important to not be sat on social media or in front of a screen, but instead finding other things to do. So I think the girls are probably well aware of my new love of jigsaw puzzles, which has potentially got a little bit out of hand.
I'm so happy you mentioned that, Leah, because I was going to mention it if you didn't.
Who knew jigsaw puzzles was so great? And other things.
I still don't, to be honest, Leah.
I'm not there. Some people just have such a negative attitude towards them.
Yeah,
you'll give one a go.
I'm not okay.
You'll give one a go, but it will be potentially an addiction. So just prepare yourself. Okay.
So it's commitment.
It's a commitment. You need to be able to walk away when appropriate. But no, definitely, it's about finding different things to do. Like in the summer, I spent most of the time in the garden, another addiction. But just things that are different to spending all the time in front of the screen, and things that can give you a bit of routine and a bit of purpose during this period of time has been really important.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think, having things outside of sport as well, because Amy, I'll come to you with this, because as someone who I'm sure has such high aspirations as most people do, it can feel like life has been put on pause a bit at the moment. So I guess from a personal experience, are you able to highlight some of the struggles that maybe you've experienced day to day? It'd be great to know what you found challenging, but also, like Leah said, what have you done to stay in the game when perhaps you aren't feeling particularly motivated or enthused about life?
Yeah, I'll start with what I found challenging. I struggle with the kind of social isolation part of this. I'm quite a social person, and I like being around people, and it's definitely taken a bit of getting used to being at home, not having the same kind of face-to-face interactions, because although this is great and we've got a lot of mediums in which to communicate, I just think face-to-face adds an extra bit of value that I have definitely missed. Again, like Leah mentioned, it's important to have routine. I definitely also fell into the trap of just doing nothing with my days, and especially in the first lockdown, didn't really do much. So I think, they're probably the main challenges that I've found, and I guess I've overcome them by kind of keeping. I got a puppy. I forgot that. I got.
What kind of puppy is it?
A Sprocker Spaniel.
A Sprocker Spaniel.
Yeah, she's definitely filled my days with routine.
She might get excited if you start.
Yeah, she might start barking.
Oh, okay.
Interact with her too much. She didn't say anything. She's got you trying to find treats in a blanket
or anything.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Cool, fine.
Didn't walk past the windows barking everywhere. So got a puppy. I forgot that for a minute, Holly. She's been such a good girl. I forgot she existed. I got a puppy, which is very fantastic, and look, I guess not everyone's lucky enough to be able to do that. So she definitely fills a lot of my time now. Has also provided a routine which I was lacking. And I guess the social kind of isolation has just taken a bit of getting used to and accepting that is the world we live in now. But trying to keep connected, especially for me, I'm not very good at talking about my feelings, but trying to talk about how I'm feeling. And then I think you get to understand that actually you're not as alone as you feel, especially if you can kind of make yourself vulnerable. You'll realize that there's a lot of people going through some similar things, and people might have some good advice for you. Be like opening up and talking is a big one. Whether it's anyone who will listen, just being able to say it out loud makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think that's the best piece of advice we could give today. And also like what you said there about acceptance, like we are in this situation, we can't do anything about it, annoyingly, but everyone's kind of pointed out the things that we can do to keep ourselves ready to go whenever things open up a little bit. So we've maybe gone a little deep, and we've hopefully heard some really solid advice from you all. But I want to mix things up just a little bit, because I think it's important that we get to know you as people and get to know you a little bit more on a personal level. Obviously, we'll all be cheering for you at the Olympics, hopefully this year. So when we see you on telly, we need to know a little bit more about you. Okay, does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
I'm not sure.
So you'll love it. You'll love it. It'll be fantastic. It'll be as good as jigsaw puzzles. So we're going to play a game.
Bold claim. Bold claim.
Honestly, I'm backing this game that much. It's called Everyday Dilemmas. Okay. And so the rules are simple. I'll give you a scenario and you have to give me an answer. I'll ask you one at a time, but there is an opportunity for input from someone else after the person who's answered the question has given their answers. You can criticize, you can give your opinion, but try not to go too hard, okay?
Yes, Amy.
We're really nice. We're really nice to each other, don't we?
I'm scared about you, Amy, to be fair, so that was great of you. All right, so Holly, I'm going to start with you. Simple questions, okay? Host a party or go to a party?
Host a party.
Wow. Okay, fine. Leah, donut or cookie?
Oh, cookie.
I agree. Amy, give a present or receive a present?
I'll give a present.
Of course you have to say that.
I love giving presents. Way more than receiving them. It is true. Wow. I love it.
Christmas,
Happy
that's
to
my
receive,
favourite thing.
by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so is everyone agreeing that giving is the ideal in this one?
I prefer giving, Christmas, I get excited about seeing people open what I've got them.
Me too.
Okay,
Downside of this Christmas, when I couldn't see anyone.
We'll go bigger next year. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm happy to receive presents. Just
cookies.
If you like to give them, I'm happy to receive them.
This works well as well, Leah, because
I think so.
2 people that like to give presents and 2 people like to receive presents. So let's make that happen.
Lee, you're such a team player.
I know.
We're both giving, got to receive. It's fantastic.
I'm helping you. I'm helping you. Yeah.
Yin and yang.
And just to add, I'm also happy to have the donut at the same time as the cookie.
Sandwich kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Noted. All right, next question back to you, Holly. You wear a new item of clothing once, but you don't like it. Do you return it?
No.
No. I agree. What about you two? Are you agreeing? No,
in my younger years, I definitely would have returned.
Okay. But now?
I still wear labels.
Best kit I've seen. Great present, that. Okay, cool. Right, we need to move on. Leah, take a shower before bed or in the morning?
Oh, before bed.
Cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Straight in. Amy, what is your meal deal selection?
Tuna sweet corn and mayonnaise sandwich.
Oh no.
A Coke is healthy and it's got lots of protein in. And no one else wants it by the sounds of it, so I can be greedy and eat it all myself. Yeah. Coke Zero. Holly will be with me on that. And then I don't think I'd get maybe like one of those like snacky bars, like the healthy ones that don't have real chocolate and they've got fake chocolate.
I think, Amy, that a meal deal costs £3 is the deal. I think you're one of the only people in the world that would pay less for these 3 items than the £3.
I looked at the most expensive sandwich.
That's what I do.
Do you?
More than £3. I'm already winning.
The smoothies, the gourmet crisps, the club sandwiches. That's
I'm a simple girl.
Like the trio of sandwiches.
Sandwiches, the breakfast trio.
Oh, you
Yeah.
must
I
be
want to spend
hungry,
as
yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah.
All right, okay, we'll
Yeah.
move on again. Holly, back to you. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Oh,
Yay.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be my go-to pizza. I wouldn't go for that, but if it was there, you know,
You're
when you're
open to it.
partying, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Leah, do you buy cheap or expensive slippers?
Leah's sock choice is awful. So if it's anything like that, then
Is that cheap? Is that the answer?
well, I don't know. Sometimes it can be expensive, but still awful.
Expensive,
Yeah.
but no fashion taste.
I reckon
Oh,
mine are
okay.
expensive but look cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's on brand. I think that's good. Amy, final question, because I'm going to finish off with one serious question to you after this one. But do you think birds have thoughts?
Yeah, they think about which car they're gonna poo on next.
Yeah, I don't know. This one baffles me because the more I think about it, the more I think, no, they can't, because like they talk, well, they seem to talk to each other in trees, but then if you are driving or something, they're in the road, they just don't. So I'll leave that one
They
for
don't
everyone to
think
think
I'll fly
about.
out the way. Yeah.
No, so
Maybe they're
I'm
slow
confused by
thoughts.
them.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
but you're
I've
saying
got
yes.
I've got a bird feeder out the front, and these
Uh-huh.
birds are proactively not coming to my bird feeder. So that is a thought.
They can't think. Well, yeah, either
They're
they haven't
choosing.
thought of it, or they don't
I haven't
Wow.
like
seen a
you. I
single
don't
bird.
know.
They're all
See,
hibernating.
you'll think about this after. I know you will.
Birds don't hibernate.
No.
Okay, right. This is the extent of my knowledge of birds. But I'm going to ask you all one final, more important question, if that's okay. Now that we feel like we've got to know you, the important stuff out of the way. Holly, again, I'll come to you in the order that we've been going all through this session. But just quickly, are you able to give one piece of advice to our younger viewers today? If you were to say anything to them right now, what would it be based on your experiences of life?
One thing I would say is if you have a really big dream, and you're willing to work really hard and have no regrets, take any opportunity, then you can achieve it. And if you don't exactly achieve what you want to, you'll still be in a really good place.
Like that. Isn't there a saying which is like, aim for the stars and
shoot for the moon,
or something?
and if you don't get there, you'll land amongst the stars.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I like that. Leah, how about you?
I don't have a quote. Mine would be whatever you do, enjoy it. Because I think there is that old quote of, if you enjoy it, then you never work a day in your life. That quote.
Yeah.
But seriously, I would say enjoy it, because as long as you enjoy it, then it never feels like a chore and you've still got that love of it. So that would be my thing, whatever you choose to do.
Love it. And Amy, you don't have to have a quote, but I mean, the other two have, so you might want
My
one.
quote would be like, I like chocolate. Is that a quote?
Yeah, eat more chocolate.
Yeah, no, a big thing that I think I've learned and I would pass on to other people is trying to focus on your own journey and not looking outwardly to compare yourself to other people. So focusing on where you were yesterday and how much you've improved from that. Yeah, that's been a big one for me.
I think that's brilliant. Yeah, you can only control your own self, can't you? And everyone
Exactly.
always says, we here control your controllables, and I think that's more relevant than ever. So to the three of you, thank you so much for joining us today. I've definitely really enjoyed listening to you. I've certainly learnt a lot, some about sport and your careers, others about your footwear, but hopefully our viewers have enjoyed it too. So I'm sure, if we'd have explained this situation that we're all in right now kind of 1 year ago, none of us would have ever believed it was possible. But so far we have a 100% record of coping and handling whatever it is that's we've been forced to do, and I think we should take a lot of positives from that. So wishing you all the very best for what's to come this year. I'm sure you'll be hugely successful, and we'll definitely be rooting for you. And everyone watching, please do join us again tomorrow for day 2 of our Vitality Healthy Half-Term series, where we'll be taking part in a 30-minute workout with Paralympic legend Emma Wiggs. So I've no doubt it's going to be another session not to miss. But in the meantime, please do take care, look after yourselves, and as we've learned today, try and have some fun along the way.